Winning is not about trophies. It is not about applause. It is not about proving someone wrong. True winning is internal. It is the ability to walk into any situation, chaos or calm, praise or criticism, gain or loss, and remain steady, wise, and in control. Life will test you. People will misunderstand you. Opportunities will challenge you. Money will fluctuate. Emotions will rise. Words will tempt you. And in those moments, the real question is not, what is happening to me? The real question is, who am I choosing to be right now? Your greatest power is not in controlling circumstances. It is in controlling yourself. If you can master your mouth, your mood, and your money, you will win in rooms where others lose control. You will rise in situations where others react. You will build stability where others create chaos. The mind is the command center of your life. Every reaction begins with a thought. Every habit begins with a belief. Every outcome begins with a decision. If you train your mind, you train your life. Winning in every situation does not mean everything goes your way. It means nothing steals your peace. It means you respond instead of react. It means you think before you speak. It means you manage your emotions instead of letting them manage you. It means you use money as a tool instead of letting it control your choices. Control of your mouth protects your relationships. Control of your mood protects your peace. Control of your money protects your future. Most people lose not because they lack talent, but because they lack discipline in these three areas. One careless sentence can destroy trust built over years. One uncontrolled mood can damage opportunities. One impulsive financial decision can create years of stress. But the opposite is also true. One thoughtful response can build respect. One calm decision can shift a conflict. One wise financial choice can create freedom. Training your mind requires awareness. You must observe your triggers. What makes you speak too quickly? What makes your mood shift instantly? What tempts you to spend emotionally? Awareness is the first step toward mastery. It also requires discipline. Discipline is choosing long-term peace over short-term satisfaction. It is pausing before responding. It is breathing before reacting. It is saving before spending. And above all, it requires responsibility. You cannot blame others for your words. You cannot blame circumstances for your mood. You cannot blame society for your financial habits. The moment you take ownership, you take back your power. Winning in every situation is not about dominating others. It is about mastering yourself. When you are centered, grounded, and disciplined, you become unshakable. Criticism does not break you. Praise does not inflate you. Pressure does not overwhelm you. You stay steady. And steadiness is strength. Before we go deeper, here are 5 powerful truths that will guide this journey. Every victory begins in the mind. Before you ever speak a word, before you make a decision, before you take an action, there is a thought. And that thought, repeated over time, becomes belief. That belief becomes behavior. That behavior becomes your reality. If you do not master your thoughts, they will quietly master you. Many people believe they are losing because of circumstances. But often, they are losing in their thinking long before they lose in life. A single thought like, "I can't handle this," can drain courage. A belief like, "I'm not good enough," can shrink opportunity. A mindset of, "This always happens to me," can turn challenges into patterns. Winning in every situation starts with mental discipline. Your mind is powerful. It does not know the difference between truth and repetition. If you repeat fear, it strengthens fear. If you repeat doubt, it strengthens doubt. But if you repeat courage, possibility, and faith in your ability to grow. It strengthens those two. You must become aware of your internal dialogue. What do you say to yourself when things go wrong? Do you criticize yourself? Do you blame others? Do you immediately assume failure? Or do you ask, what can I learn from this? That question alone can change everything. The mind of a winner is not free from difficulty. It is trained to interpret difficulty differently. Instead of seeing obstacles as proof of defeat, it sees them as training grounds. Instead of seeing rejection as humiliation, it sees it as redirection. Instead of seeing pressure as punishment, it sees it as preparation. Training your mind requires intentional practice. First, you must interrupt negative patterns. When a limiting thought appears, do not accept it automatically. Challenge replace "I can't" with "How can I?" Replace "This is impossible" with "This is challenging, but I will find a way." That shift may seem small, but over time, it rewires your confidence. Second, feed your mind wisely. Just as your body reflects what you eat, your thinking reflects what you consume mentally. If you constantly absorb negativity, gossip, fear, driven news, and comparison, your mindset will reflect it. But if you feed your mind wisdom, growth, and possibility, your thinking will expand. Protect your mental environment. Third, practice mental stillness. Silence strengthens awareness. When you take even 10 minutes daily to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and observe your thoughts, you gain control. You begin to recognize that you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker. And once you realize that, you can choose which thoughts deserve attention. Here is a powerful truth. You cannot control every situation, but you can control your interpretation of it. Two people can face the same challenge. One sees disaster. The other sees opportunity. The difference is not in the situation. It is in the mindset. Winning in every situation does not mean everything turns out perfectly. It means you remain mentally strong regardless of the outcome. It means you refuse to let fear dictate your response. It means you choose growth over bitterness. Your thoughts shape your posture. Your posture shapes your presence. Your presence shapes your opportunities. If your thoughts are chaotic, your decisions will be chaotic. If your thoughts are steady, your actions will be steady. Mastering your thoughts is not about pretending everything is positive. It is about choosing empowering interpretations. It is about asking better questions. It is about training your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems. Every day, you have thousands of thoughts. You may not control all of them, but you can control which ones you nurture. And when you learn to direct your thinking with intention, you build a foundation that cannot easily be shaken. Because the greatest victory you will ever win is the one inside your own mind. Words can build a bridge or burn it in seconds. One sentence can open a door that changes your life. One careless remark can close it forever. That is the power of the mouth. And if you want to win in every situation, you must learn this discipline: speak with intention, not emotion. Most damage is not caused by enemies. It is caused by unguarded words spoken in moments of anger, pride, jealousy, or frustration. When emotions rise, wisdom often falls. Unless you train yourself differently. The mouth is fast. The mind must be faster. Winning in life is not about saying everything you feel. It is about choosing what is useful, what is kind, and what is necessary. Emotional reactions may feel powerful in the moment, but restraint is true strength. There is power in pause. When someone criticizes you, your instinct may be to defend yourself immediately. When someone disrespects you, you may feel the urge to respond sharply. When you are frustrated, sarcasm may seem satisfying. But here is the truth: immediate reactions often create long-term consequences. A disciplined person understands that not every thought deserves expression. Not every insult deserves a reply. Not every argument deserves your energy. Before you speak, ask yourself 3 questions. Pain, is it true? Pain, is it necessary? Pain, is it constructive? If it fails one of those tests, silence may be your greatest victory. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. Some of the strongest people in the room are not the loudest. They are the most measured. They speak when their words add value. They respond when clarity is required. They know that the right words, spoken at the right time, carry more influence than constant noise. Controlling your mouth also means controlling tone. You can say the right words in the wrong way and still create damage. Tone communicates more than vocabulary. Respect, calmness, and confidence in your voice can transform difficult conversations into productive ones. And here is something powerful. When you control your mouth, you control your reputation. People remember how you speak under pressure. They remember whether you escalate conflict or de-escalate it. They remember whether you gossip or uplift. Over time, your words shape how much trust and respect you receive. If you want to win in business, relationships, leadership, or personal growth, you must master communication. Another critical discipline is learning when not to share everything. Oversharing can weaken boundaries. Complaining constantly can drain those around you. Speaking negatively about others may feel temporary relief, but it plants seeds of distrust. Guard your words. There is also strength in speaking life into yourself and others. Words can encourage. Words can heal. Words can inspire courage in someone who is struggling. When you choose to speak positively and intentionally, you multiply your influence. Control of the mouth is not about suppression. It is about wisdom. It is knowing that you do not have to win every argument to win in life. It is understanding that sometimes walking away is stronger than having the last word. It is realizing that your peace is more valuable than proving a point. When emotions are high, lower your voice. When tension rises, slow your speech. When anger knocks, pause before opening the door. That pause is power. Training your mouth requires practice. At first, it may feel difficult to hold back. But over time, it becomes natural. You begin to feel stronger because you are no longer controlled by impulse. Winning in every situation means leaving conversations with dignity. It means protecting relationships through restraint. It means choosing words that align with your values, not your temporary emotions. Your mouth can either create chaos or command respect. Choose wisely. Your mood is powerful. It can light up a room or darken it. It can fuel productivity or destroy opportunity. It can strengthen relationships or quietly weaken them. If you want to win in every situation, you must understand this truth. Your mood is your responsibility. Life will not always cooperate with your plans. People will disappoint you. Traffic will frustrate you. Business will fluctuate. Criticism will come when you least expect it. If your emotional state depends on perfect conditions, you will constantly feel out of control. Emotional discipline means choosing stability even when circumstances are unstable. Many people believe moods are automatic. I'm just in a bad mood. That's how I am. But moods are influenced by interpretation. What you focus on expands. If you focus on what is wrong, irritation grows. If you focus on solutions, calmness grows. You cannot control every trigger, but you can control your response to it. Winning in every situation does not mean you never feel anger, sadness, or disappointment. It means you do not allow those emotions to drive your decisions. Emotions are signals, not commanders. When something upsets you, pause and ask, what is this teaching me? What is within my control right now? That pause creates space between feeling and action. And in that space lies power. Emotional discipline also protects your opportunities. Imagine walking into an important meeting in a reactive mood. Your tone shifts. Your patience shortens. Your focus weakens. Now imagine walking into that same room grounded, steady, and self-aware. The situation may be the same, but the outcome changes because your energy changes. Your mood sets the atmosphere around you. Strong leaders, strong partners, strong individuals understand this. Consistency in mood builds trust. When people know you are emotionally stable, they feel safe around you. They respect you. They rely on you. Unpredictable moods create instability. Controlled emotions create influence. One practical way to strengthen emotional discipline is through awareness of triggers. Notice patterns. Do certain conversations drain you? Does lack of sleep affect your patience? Does comparison on social media shift your mood? Awareness gives you leverage. Another key is physical care. Your body and emotions are connected. Rest, nutrition, and movement affect emotional balance. Even a 10-minute walk can shift a heavy mood. Deep breathing can calm an anxious mind in under 5 minutes. Small physical actions create emotional stability. Gratitude is another powerful tool. When you intentionally identify 3 things you appreciate daily, you train your brain to search for positive evidence instead of problems. Over time, your default mood becomes more resilient. But here is something essential: emotional discipline does not mean suppression. It means processing emotions privately before expressing them publicly. It means journaling instead of exploding, reflecting instead of reacting. Strength is not loud. Strength is steady. When you control your mood, you become less reactive to criticism. You stop taking everything personally. You gain the ability to respond strategically instead of emotionally. And strategy wins more often than impulse. Winning in every situation is not about overpowering others. It is about remaining centered when others lose control. It is about walking away with dignity instead of regret. It is about choosing calm over chaos. Your mood is contagious. It spreads to your family, your coworkers, your team. When you carry emotional stability, you create emotional safety. And emotional safety creates growth. Train your mind to pause. Train your body to breathe. Train your heart to respond wisely. Because when you master your mood, you master the energy you bring into every room. And that is power. Money is not just currency. It is stored decisions. It is stored discipline. It is stored habits. And if you want to win in every situation, you must understand this: financial control is emotional control in disguise. Many people do not struggle because they lack income. They struggle because they lack structure. They earn, but they do not manage. They receive, but they do not multiply. They spend emotionally and then stress financially. Winning requires financial awareness. You cannot build a stable life on unstable habits. Every dollar has direction. If you do not tell your money where to go, it will quietly disappear. Small daily spending, coffee subscriptions, impulse buys, may seem harmless, but $10 a day becomes $300 a month. That is $600 a year. Over 5 years, that is 18,000. Small leaks sink big ships. Controlling your money begins with clarity. Know exactly what you earn. Know exactly what you spend. Track it. Measure it. Awareness alone can shift behavior. Second, build discipline into your financial life. Create a simple structure, spend, save, invest. Even saving 10–20% of your income consistently builds stability over time. The habit matters more than the amount. Financial discipline is not about restriction. It is about freedom. When you have savings, you make decisions from strength instead of desperation. You can leave unhealthy environments. You can handle emergencies without panic. You can invest in opportunities instead of fearing them. Freedom is not about how much you make. It is about how much control you have. Another important truth: avoid emotional spending. Many people spend to celebrate, to cope, to impress, or to escape. But temporary pleasure often leads to long-term pressure. Before purchasing something significant, pause and ask, does this align with my future, or is it feeding my feelings? That pause protects your peace. Wealth is not built in dramatic moments. It is built in quiet consistency. Automatic savings, smart investments, delayed gratification. These are not glamorous habits, but they are powerful. And remember this: money amplifies who you are. If you are disciplined, money increases stability. If you are careless, money increases chaos. Winning in every situation includes financial resilience. Life will bring unexpected expenses. Medical needs, repairs, transitions. Preparation turns crises into manageable challenges. Also, invest in growth, books, courses, skill development. These are not expenses, they are assets. Increasing your value increases your earning potential. A new skill can raise income for years. Knowledge compounds like money. Do not measure success by what you display. Measure it by what you control. True wealth is peace. It is sleeping without financial anxiety. It is knowing you are prepared. It is having options. Financial discipline also builds confidence. When you manage your resources wisely, you feel empowered. You stop fearing money conversations. You start making strategic decisions. Money should serve your purpose, not control your identity. When you control your money, you reduce stress. When you reduce stress, you improve mood. When your mood improves, your decisions improve. Everything connects. Winning is not about luxury. It is about stability. Train yourself to spend intentionally. Save consistently. Invest wisely. Avoid debt traps. Think long-term. Because financial freedom is not built in 1 year. It is built through repeated, disciplined choices over time. And when you master your money, you remove one of life's greatest pressures. That is power. Here is the final truth: winning is not an accident. It is a decision made in real time. Every single day, life presents moments that test you. A harsh comment, a sudden loss, a disappointing result, a financial setback, a misunderstanding. In those seconds, you have two options: react or respond. Reaction is automatic. Response is intentional. Reaction is driven by ego, fear, pride, and impulse. Response is driven by clarity, discipline, and purpose. When you react, you give your power away. When you respond, you claim it. The difference between people who constantly struggle and those who consistently rise is not luck. It is not background. It is not talent. It is the space they create between stimulus and action. That space is where winners are formed. Imagine someone criticizes you publicly. A reaction would be to defend yourself aggressively, raise your voice, or attack back. A response would be to pause, breathe, and evaluate it. Is this feedback useful? If yes, I will learn. If not, I will release it. Same situation, different outcome. Winning in every situation does not mean you dominate every conversation. It means you leave with your dignity intact. It means you do not allow temporary emotion to create permanent damage. Reaction feels powerful in the moment. Response creates power in the long term. When you respond, you think beyond the present feeling. You consider consequences. You align your action with your future, not your impulse. This applies to arguments. It applies to money decisions. It applies to career moves. It applies to relationships. A reaction might quit immediately when frustrated. A response evaluates carefully before making a move. A reaction might spend emotionally to escape stress. A response protects financial stability. A reaction might send a harsh message. A response chooses timing and tone wisely. Responding requires awareness. You must notice your emotional spike. Feel the heat rising. Hear the tone shifting. That awareness is your signal to pause. The pause is your power. Even 3 seconds of silence can prevent regret. A deep breath can reset your nervous system. A short walk can shift your perspective. Small interruptions break big mistakes. Winning is not about avoiding conflict. It is about navigating it wisely. And here is something powerful. When you consistently respond instead of react, people begin to see you differently. They see maturity. They see stability. They see leadership. Calmness under pressure builds influence. There will always be noise around you. Opinions, expectations, distractions, criticism. If you react to everything, you will live in constant emotional turbulence. But if you choose carefully what deserves your energy, you protect your peace. Not every battle deserves your response. Not every comment deserves your attention. Not every situation deserves your emotion. Discernment is strength. Winning in every situation is not about controlling others. It is about controlling yourself so completely that nothing outside of you controls you. You become steady when others panic. You become focused when others scatter. You become strategic when others explode. And over time, that steadiness compounds into success. Remember this: your life is shaped not by the events you face, but by the choices you make in response to them. Reaction is instinct. Response is mastery. And mastery is the real victory. At the end of the day, winning is not about defeating someone else. It is not about always being right. It is not about having more, shouting louder, or proving a point. Winning is walking away from every situation with your dignity, your peace, and your power intact. When you master your thoughts, you control your direction. When you control your mouth, you protect your relationships. When you control your mood, you protect your peace. When you control your money, you protect your future. And when you choose to respond instead of react, you protect your destiny. Life will not always be fair. People will test you. Pressure will visit you. But nothing can overpower a disciplined mind. Nothing can shake a person who has learned to pause, think, and act with intention. Self-mastery is the foundation of every lasting success. You do not need to win every argument. You do not need to control every outcome. You do not need to impress every person. You only need to control yourself. Because when you control yourself, you control your energy. When you control your energy, you control your decisions. When you control your decisions, you control your future. The strongest person in any room is the one who remains calm when chaos tries to pull them in. The wealthiest mindset is the one that values discipline over impulse. The most powerful voice is the one that speaks with wisdom, not emotion. Train your mind daily. Guard your words carefully. Stabilize your emotions intentionally. Direct your money wisely. And remember this powerful truth: you do not win by overpowering the world. You win by mastering yourself within it. That is real strength. That is real freedom. That is real victory.